In the distant land of Seal, powerful armies are on the move. The undead hordes rise from their graves, and dangerous sorcerers wield cruel magics. In this time of chaos, a pair of champions is called upon to stand between civilization and the growing void of destruction. The powers that they wield and the secrets that they uncover will renew an ancient conflict, one that threatens to shake the very foundations of heaven and earth. Divinity Original Sin is an RPG where you take on the role of a duo of mage-hunting warriors who are sent to a distant land to investigate a murder most foul. The crime in question was committed with dark magic, and it is your job to hunt down the sorcerer responsible and put an end to their schemes. Now, like most RPGs, Original Sin is a mixture of action, exploration, and customization. During the standard gameplay, you'll have the opportunity to explore the map and talk with NPCs. As you do, you'll be given new information on how to proceed, and occasionally new quests as well. As an open-ended RPG, you're free to solve these quests in whatever manner you see fit. Whether that means using diplomacy to collect information, or using stealth and trickery to just take what you need, or even just resorting to violence. When combat does come up, the game switches from real-time to turn-based, with each character having an allotment of action points. You can use these points to move around the environment, attack enemies, or cast spells and use items. After you've defeated your foes or completed your quest, you'll be rewarded with new equipment and experience points. Now, what's great about Divinity Original Sin is that it's a good old-fashioned, non-linear RPG, and it gives you a lot of freedom to explore and have adventures. You can solve quests in any way or any order you want, whether that means using diplomacy or violence. There are hundreds of NPCs to interact with and dozens of spells to learn. There's even a crafting system if you want to make your own weapons and armor. Even your characters, who start off with a few basic skills, can be leveled up however you wish, mixing and matching powers and abilities to suit your playstyle. On top of that, Original Sin has a number of subsystems that add some depth and complexity to the standard RPG formula. For instance, during combat, you'll learn early on that some of your powers have environmental effects in addition to their regular actions. As an example, let's say that you want to poison an enemy, so you throw a grenade at him that creates a pool of toxic liquid. What you may or may not know is that that liquid is also flammable, so if you use a fire spell on the pool, now your enemy is not only poisoned, but he's on fire. But it's just as dangerous for your troops to walk through a pool of fire. So, a quick ice spell will put it out and freeze him solid. And that's just a basic example. The game is filled with spells and grenades and different types of ammunition that will allow you and your enemies to manipulate the battlefield. Another interesting complexity is how the game handles multiple protagonists. At the start of the game, you're allowed to create 2 avatars that will be your main characters. And at first this just seems like a convenience that they've made for the multiplayer support, since the entire game can be played in co-op. But, as it turns out, it offers a unique opportunity for role-playing, even if you're just going through the single-player campaign. You see, each of your characters is allowed to have their own individual personality. And there's even an argument minigame built into the system for instances when your 2 characters might disagree and need to come to a decision. Divinity Original Sin is a good old-fashioned, non-linear RPG, and that's great. But it is also the game's biggest flaw. I mean, make no mistake, I love this game to pieces, but it is definitely not for everyone. Freedom in an RPG can be a great virtue, but it can also be overwhelming. This is a game where if you wander off the beaten path, you can find yourself in an area where the enemies are too powerful for you. Or you can solve a quest chain out of order, or kill a critical NPC and lock yourself out of a solution. This is a game where, depending upon how you play, even your party members could wind up irreversibly dead, with no amount of quick saving being able to bring them back. It's that old-fashioned game design philosophy where you, the player, have to be paying attention and committed to the consequences of your actions. Still, Divinity Original Sin is a lot of fun. I would give it 4 out of 4 stars and my recommendation. If you're looking for an RPG with turn-based combat and non-linear exploration elements, then yeah, this is definitely one to check out. Alright, thanks for watching. Now I've got to be off. It's time to make amends for original sins.